It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, from the studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com here in Phoenix, Arizona, IA. Now, we have in studio the Fox affiliate, right? Channel 10. They're down here. We've had television in and out all day, and they're very interested in the TSA opt-out day tomorrow. And what we're going to be doing is we want to make sure that they understand that it's planned. You know, we're going to plan to be peaceful, to offer some material that's of benefit to the TSA employees and those that choose to opt out. What we have planned to do is here tomorrow night at Freedom's Phoenix Workshop, we're going to be making packets that will be the little Ziploc bags that they have, and we're going to put something in there. Well, the one thing that we want to make sure we put in there are a fresh pair of blue gloves. Because if we don't do that, the TSA, they're not changing those gloves all the time. Now, the worker might be protected a little bit, but as they're going and they're frisking you and they're going from package to package, we want to make sure that they're not transferring as they're just going all over every person that they frisk. I mean, their entire body, inside their pants even, and going to the next one. Well, I'm opting out, and I just want to make sure you got a fresh pair of gloves. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that fresh pair of gloves thing. Because what I want to do is to make sure that the people are protected, that they're safe, that they're not being molested, and have to deal with some pathogen, so we got that taken care of. Also, the TSA employees, they're not really protected by whatever radiation they get. Won't let them have dosimeters. So we're advocating that, there's certain places they can order these radiation dosimeters to have the accumulative effect if there are any problems to their health. Now, the other thing is that the scanner manufacturer, Michael Chertoff, former head of Homeland Security, is kind of the lead lobbyist on this thing, making some money. Well, how did they get to be limited from liability for any damage that they cause anybody? That's just, now if it was a private firm, such as the airlines, they should be responsible for their cargo and their passengers. They are the ones that should be taking on this responsibility. They won't give them that option. If they go to a private security firm, what's going to happen? The private security firm will have to follow all the same directives, and, it's going to be, Chertoff security. You can see that one coming, too. So some airports are starting to opt out. They're saying, no, we're going to go with something else. Well, what else can they really go to? If the airlines are responsible for it, well, maybe I might have the option to go on Fly and Die Airlines. I get the freedom to pick. I want the option. That has been taken away. And for somehow, they're trying to get us thinking in a way that to fly the free air, that we have to submit ourselves to government authority from Washington, D.C. There's a lot of people don't like that. And when they start getting into going down your pants or stripping little kids or having you take off all your prosthesis and so on, I think that people are upset and they want to express themselves. Well, we met with the Phoenix Police Department here. We had the heads of a lot of departments down here, and I just talked to the Confrontation Prevention Squad Community Service here this morning, and they understand that maybe some people won't be getting permits to express themselves. So they're like, hey, as long as they're just acting as individuals, they're not being confrontational, we want everybody to enjoy their travel experience, we don't want to scare anybody, we're not going to be asking for ID, we're not going to be, doing the strong arm, chest out, respect my authority thing. We're going to allow you your right to dissent. That is what we need from the Phoenix Police. And they've been pretty good about this in the past. Their thing, we've done a lot of these, we always cooperate with them, let them know what we're going to do so they're not surprised, and they can express this to their line officers so that they know that, look, your job as local law enforcement is to protect our individual right to dissent, to complain. They wanted us to focus on making sure that we're talking about the TSA, that we're focusing on the TSA, that our problem is with the TSA. You're correct. As long as local law enforcement is there to protect our rights, our ability to complain, because that's one thing that we really want to know about. When is the time going to come that we're not allowed to complain? Is that time going to descend upon us that at some time in the future, we are not allowed to complain? When will that happen? I don't know. We need to know that there is going to be us being able to express ourselves and that we're not going to be molested by law enforcement, that they're on our side, that we are going to be represented. And I think that they want to do that. They want to make sure everybody has a pleasant travel experience. But I really wanted to make sure that they understood if you went to hundreds of people and asking them for their ID, if you crowd them with multiple officers going around saying, hey, you must ID yourself, sooner or later they're going to come up against someone that's going to say no. Because they're under no legal obligation if they're not committing a crime, if they're not suspected of committing a crime, if they're not doing anything that is, damaging anyone, or scaring anyone. They're not, there's no reason for them to go after them. I think that they should be just left alone. In fact, it's the law that they be left alone. So that's what we're focusing on. We want to make sure that they are just simply left alone. So that's what we're going to go ahead and make sure that they are. And we are cooperating with the Phoenix Police Department. They have been very responsive. They came and they spent time here. We had a 2-hour meeting. Now, during the meeting, they wanted to take a break. They wanted to, collect their thoughts, talk about it, call superiors and so on, because I think they initially wanted to have the idea that they were going to be able to dictate how we were going to express ourselves. I don't think that's how it's going to work out. So once they understood that this is much larger, we're really trying to do them a favor. We're trying to make sure that they understand that we're just trying to express ourselves, make sure that we are creative, make sure that we are, going to, not disrupt people's travels. And I am of the opinion that it's going to make them feel a lot better, that they're going to be able to make sure that they enjoy their travel experience and have a lot of fun things to talk about at the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, that they were able to enjoy themselves. They were glad that someone was out there representing their interest, that they were looking to be able to just be clear about what it was that they were dissenting, and it'll be an opportunity to advocate for other things, like the Dignity Travel Act that we're getting introduced by Dr. Paul. We'll play later a little bit of a segment that we interviewed Dr. Paul last Friday when he was here at the Phoenician Resort. And I asked him about the TSA and opt-out day and the inspiration that he has for a lot of people about what's going to happen. He shared his mind. And then immediately after that, he went and did a CNN interview where he shared his mind some more. They're not comfortable with the people sharing their mind. Well, we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with themselves sharing their dissent, and that law enforcement is there to protect us. The city of Phoenix has been very good about this in the past, as long as we let them, even though we're creative, even though there may be firearms involved, even though that we're got some kind of people going around with V masks, painted half blue, Braveheart and kilts with no underwear. I mean, we've put all kinds of scenarios out to where, imagine you got your $59 Southwest airline ticket. There's a plug for Southwest. You got your $59 ticket. You go in with your opt-out packet and you say, here's your fresh pair of blue gloves, and guess what? You go up there, you're going to get what you get, but we want to make sure it's with a fresh pair of gloves and the next person doesn't have to worry about transfer of any pathogen. Just trying to be helpful. Well, we're being helpful here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, at Freedom's Phoenix Workshop. Tomorrow night, we're putting the packets together. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Give you some more details in just a little bit.